We are excited to announce our new partnership with Sleeve, a top brand TCG accessories. Whether you are into One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, or you just have a favorite anime, this is the right place for you. And with the code HILL5 or by shopping through the link down below, you'll get 5% of your order while also supporting our channel. Big thanks to Sleeve and to all of you for supporting us. Now back to the video.
Hello guys, welcome back on the channel. Today we'll be talking about Sakazuki together with Nino Burzi, a renewed Saka player who recently topped both Athens Regional and his Treasure Cup, proving that Saka is still a solid deck in the OP12. Joining us as well is Gabriele Di Bella, the second mind behind the decklist that won the Sevilla side event with the same deck.
So, hi guys.
Hi guys.
One of the first things people might notice in your list is the absence of Masherry. Why did you decide to not include it? Do you ever feel like you missed it?
No, I never missed Masherry. We tested it at the start. The problem of the deck is that you don't have so much space in the list, so you need to cut something. Even when we put the Barto inside, it was just to cut other two blockers that we were playing that were GARPs, the 3 cost. So for Masherry, the same reason you don't have so much space. We tested it at the start and we felt that it was only good against green Zoro because we have some turns when you can do Rebecca, removing the threat and then putting the Masherry to retake something from the trash. So that's why I think like you don't have that space to play the Masherry. Also against like OP, yeah, maybe it could be good, but not that much. And because in the late game sometimes you have five threat on 5 bodies on board and you need to kill the Masherry just to put something else there, like a Kuzan or a blocker, so maybe a one-off you can put into, but not more than one.
Let's also talk about the ratio of your spells. How do you decide on those numbers? And do you feel they were the right call for the current meta? Will you make any adjustment moving forward?
About the spells, at the start I played like on Saturday also, I played 2 Gravity and 1 Murakumo instead of 2 Murakumo and 1 Gravity. And also we were playing at the start of the list. With Gabriele we were playing like 4 Tempest, 4 Houndblaze, 1 Murakumo and 2 7 cost, I think. From that we needed space, so we got like 1 Tempest, just because Tempest used that card more in the late game, so you don't need to see Tempest kick in the early game. And also if you saw too many, like 1 or 2 Tempest in the early game and you don't have a card to trash, sometimes you just trash the Tempest, so that's why maybe at 3 is better, just because better to see them in the late game and not in the early mid game. And then for the Houndblaze the same. I mean, Houndblaze is strong always, like in the early, mid and the late game, but you need space, so sometimes it was too redundant and it was possible to cut 1 for us, just because also we were playing the Murakumo, so playing like 3 Hound and 1 Murakumo, or in this case like 3 Hound and 2 Murakumo works better, because there is Rayleigh, so Murakumo is better against Rayleigh instead of the Houndblaze. And the 7 cost, okay, I played 2 the first day on Saturday, because I was expecting too many teach. Then I faced no one, so on Sunday I cut it and I faced 4 teach. No, 3 teach, like. But I mean, with Laboon in the deck, Murakumo works almost the same as Gravity Blade. So if you do like Laboon and Murakumo with Tempest, you just can bottom deck almost everything with Murakumo. So that's why I think 7 cost it's good at 1. And if you don't play also Boa in the deck, 7 cost at 1 is better, because with Boa is very strong, but without maybe it's not that strong against Bonnie, but Bonnie is already a free matchup, so I think the right rush of the spells in the list. Another spell we wanted to put into was Black Vortex or Slave Arrow. It puts the Zoro matchup in your favor, because right now the Zoro matchup is like 50-50. It depends if you don't miss something on Kuru, if you see everything or not, like how many 3 cost spells you see. So like Slave Arrow and Black Vortex helps you to fight that matchup very, very well. So it's like almost in our favor if we play that spells, but we don't have so much space, so only these 2 spells were the one we were considering to add.
Okay, now let's talk about the matchup. The first one is Zoro. Zoro is always a deck people need to respect. How do you usually approach this matchup? How do you manage your life?
Yeah, the zero matchup is not a really good matchup, but you can win. Your curve want to be for set up Kuzan and protect it with Reaper. Reaper is the tech for this matchup in general. I have to do, if I go first at 5 dawn, Kuzan Reaper to protect it with for the Tashigi at 6 dawn. Or if I go second, at 1 dawn, Tashigi Reaper and Kuzan is the best way to play. And for sure, you have to protect your life with one card when you can. But against Zoro, he's always 8-8 face. But if you have your Kuzan on board, safe, you can do safe turns with spam blocker, Rebecca, and do value to stay at 2 life, spam attack to pressure, and Kuzan help you a lot. If you miss Kuzan, the matchup is not good. I think is the Black Vortex is a good touch always because if you set at 1 life, you can have only 1 blocker or 2 blocker, your Sengoku, and you not die. The rest you have to counter when you can.
Okay, now let's move on the Luffy UP matchup. This one looks like pretty challenging one. How do you deal with it? What are the key cards you are looking for? And which is the turn you usually give you the chance to swing the game in your favor?
Okay, now against UP, I said also in the report of the tournament, the matchup is like the worst of the deck. It's like an 80-20, maybe 70-30, depends on what they see. Like if they miss the first Sanji, or if they do a Sanji, a weak Sanji with the 5 cost instead of the 9 cost. The key cards like you want to see are Jack. That's why I was playing 2-3, because you need to see him on curve. If you don't see Jack on curve, it's like a tempo loss, so you just die, because Jack on curve then with the Kuzan just kill a 9 cost. So you need to see him always, because for example if they do a weak Sanji, you play Jack, then you play Kuzan kill the 5 cost, and then Jack with the leader effect kill the 9 cost. And after that the game is in your favor. This is the plan, this is the card like you're looking for mainly, and you need also 2k counters in the early mid game, because if you can't counter the 6k UP does at the start, you will just lose, because you just take too many life, and also he has the rushes like the 9 cost Luffy and the 8 cost Luffy that kills us. So that's why you need to see also 2Ks, not only the Jack and the Kuzan. Also, like the card that is like the key card of the matchup is Pudding, because if you are able to leave him at 1 life, and you have on board, for example, like Kuzan, Jack, Ina, or Sengoku, you just Pudding him and then try to go for game, like doing like 888 and a 10, or with the Sengoku you just attack more with him. You can attack like 8, 10, 8, 10, 10. So if you Pudding him, it's very likely that they cannot counter it. So that's another plan. But you need to see Pudding is a one-off, and it's not that easy. But that game plan is very strong. It depends also if you have already sent them at 1 life or not, because at 2 is impossible. At 1 it's okay. And about the lives, like our life, how we manage them, like we want to stay as up as possible with our life, just because, as I said before, you will die with the rushes. So if you're able like to counter the 6k and the 7k also, depends. If it's the first life, the 7k will take. If it's a 6k, I won't take any life. I'll counter every 6k.
Okay, now for a newer kinda matchup, Teach. Teach is a deck we don't see as often, but it can be really tricky. What's your strategy against it? Do you prefer going first, second? What are the main things you need to watch out for?
Okay, against Stitch, right now, I definitely prefer to going first, just because if they were playing like the classical list, the old one, maybe the matchup would be more difficult. But now they're playing like one 4-cost spell, two 10-cost Stitch. I think this helps us to win that matchup, because I prefer to go first to play Jack. Just if they don't have the 4-cost spell and they miss it, the game will be in our favor. They are playing only a one-off of that, so it's not easy. Also, they need to have the setup with Kuzan to play Vanago from Trash and play the 4-cost spell. So if they miss that, the matchup is very very tough for them. Also, the 10-cost Stitch that is very strong against us. They are playing only 2, so that's very good. The strongest card against us are the blockers. Apart from Caribou, because Caribou you just do bottom deck and it's bye-bye to Caribou. So it's not a good card to play against Saka. But like the San Juan and the 6-cost Kuzan and the 10-cost Stitch, they are very very strong. So I usually tend to keep a hand, like with all bricks also, just because I want to have all the spells. If I see all the spells in that matchup, it's very good. I feel like you can win a lot of games, more than 50 maybe. Laboon is like crazy in that matchup, just because with Laboon you can do Laboon, Tempest, Houndblaze to bottom deck at 10 cost, or also Laboon, Tempest, Murakumo to bottom deck 2 bodies. So that's why it's very very strong. Like in the teachers I faced one in top 8 and they won 2-0. And the game was far to be like 50-50, because they were like all in my favor, but very very much. Then when I faced Johnny, like the first game was a massacre for him, because I saw like the Jack on curve at 8. Then I played the 10-cost Kuzan because I had 3 life. He didn't have pressure on board. I had counter also in hand, so I said, okay, play Kuzan 10, so if he played each, need to block my Kuzan 10, and then in my turn I can do Laboon, Tempest, with Jack I killed the 10 cost, and that was what happened in that game. Then in the second and third game I just missed like one key card, because the second game there was one spot he has 0 life, had the Tempest Houndblaze in hand. If I had a Laboon or a second Tempest, I can do double Tempest or Tempest Laboon on the San Juan Houndblaze and just go face, and he would have died because he had only 0 life. And in the third one I played one Jack on curve at 7, then in his 10 on turn he played Teach, and I have like 2 Tempest in hand. If I saw the second Jack there to kill the 10 cost Teach, the game was over too. So it was very very close, and he played very good. Like he's one of the, I think he's the best player, not because I'm my friend, he's the best player right now, like in the game, and also of Teach is among the best players of Teach. So if you fight like that against one of the best, I think the matchup is definitely playable. But Laboon, thanks to Laboon, because Laboon makes it easier to fight, because without team I think it wasn't that easy. So that's why.
Now, for the last matchup, we can talk about Rayleigh. Rayleigh is another tough opponent. What's your general approach here? Do you like to starve the opponent, play more aggressively, and how do you manage your life?
Yeah, against Rayleigh, I want to go second, or I want to always put my Kuzan on curve, Kuzan 4. People think to go first is better, but I think no, because if you miss Brook, at 4 he plays a double piece, and at 5 you have to remove 2, and you have no Kuzan. If you have Kuzan, you have to tank the small attack of the Searcher early. You never want to remove the Searcher with the spells, you do a minus, simple. And a 6 Dawn, Kuzan -4 on Luffy, Leader -1 on Sanji, Murakumo, Rebecca Brook, KO the Searcher, and just GG. Is this tank the other attack, always KO all board, have 1 blocker, and The only thing he can do is triple unblockable, and maybe you can set up to counter it, and it's easy.
Okay, now for the last question, the same we asked the others. What's the one piece of advice you'd give to players who want to improve with this deck? What's the thing that helped you boost your win rate the most once you figure it out?
So I think that like we had our advantage with the deck because we already played it a lot in OP5, OP6, so we had like our advantage, and when we took the deck to play it again, we felt like already good with the deck, you know, because we spammed a lot of games in the past, and we also had our good results with the deck. That was in our favor because we didn't like lost a lot of time to master it now. And like for new players, maybe the deck would be kinda difficult, could feel kinda difficult to master. I think like the best thing to do to improve with the deck is just to play a lot of games with it. Try to where you misplay during your losses. Also, like if you do a leader ability wrong, sometimes you also you don't choose the leader ability because like at the start, also when we started playing the deck in the past, it felt like it was mandatory to do the leader ability because you say, okay, the leader trash one, draw one, I need to do that. No, it's not mandatory because if you have already your curve, you have everything in your hand, and you are not searching for anything. It's not needed to do the leader ability because if you do that, you will end trashing something you will need in the late game, and you say, oh no, why I trash this card if I need it. So this is one of the advice I would give with for Sakazuki. Others, enjoy like the deck right now. The most difficult part was, as I said also another like in the other videos, was to build the list because the gameplay is also the same. The list was difficult just because we need to figure it out which was the meta. We expecting like Zoro as one of the most played matchup, Rayleigh. I was expecting also Teaches because I said, okay, maybe there were those Teach, but Teach is not a popular deck in general because it's difficult, so many people are not encouraged to play it. That's why Gabriele had the right idea of playing a Reaper, because against Zoro, as he said also before, you need to fight him with blockers. So as many blockers as you can put into the deck is good. And having like a one cost blocker, 1k counter, it's very, very strong. Right now, the best advice I can give also about the deck is that just see which is the meta and adapt your deck list to that, because it's too dependent on how the meta shapes also in PRB. Because in PRB I think the deck is still playable. I mean, like the deck, if it doesn't face any UP, it's only possible to lose against Zoro if, as Gabriele said, you don't see the things you need to see in that matchup. Because apart from that, you smash all the field, like Bonnie, all the yellow decks, Rayleigh, which other decks are in meta, like Kuzan. It's very, very free. Also, Sanju P is the worst matchup. We didn't talk about it, but it's not like it's a fake deck, I think so. Because that it's like 100-0, I think 90-10. It's very, very impossible to win. But apart from that, the deck is very, very strong. The problem is that it's difficult for sure if you haven't picked it up already in the past.
Thank you guys for your time. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful, and bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.